Amara was a quiet girl who lived with her mother in a small house at the edge of town. Their home was tiny, but filled with love. Amara always tried her best to help her mother, study hard, and stay kind, even when life was difficult. She did not have many clothes or money, but she carried something more precious: goodness in her heart. Some girls in her friend group did not like this. Instead of being happy for her, they felt jealous. Even though they had nicer things, they did not like how teachers trusted Amara, how neighbors greeted her kindly, or how she always stayed honest. So, little by little, they began to look for ways to make her look bad. One afternoon, the girls invited Amara to follow them to a big store in town. They pretended they wanted to shop together, but in their minds, they had already planned something unkind. Amara went with them happily, not knowing their thoughts. Inside the store, everyone walked around picking snacks and drinks. Amara only touched a small packet of biscuits because she wanted to buy something simple for her mother. She held it in her hands and smiled at the thought of making her mother happy. But while she stood there, her so-called friends whispered to a store worker. The worker looked up immediately and walked straight to Amara. His expression was serious. "Excuse me," he said firmly. "Someone said you tried to take something without paying." Amara froze. The packet of biscuits almost slipped from her hand. "I didn't," she said softly. "I haven't taken anything." Her friends stood behind her, pretending to be surprised, but their eyes showed something else, something unkind. While all this was happening, a man who had been pushing a shopping cart nearby quietly watched. He was tall, neatly dressed, and calm. His name was Mr. Adrian Cole, a young billionaire who liked to shop by himself to feel normal and peaceful. He had noticed Amara when she entered the store. She looked simple, but carried herself with gentle confidence. Now he watched how she reacted, calm, polite, and not angry, even though she was being wrongly accused. He walked toward them slowly. "Is everything all right here?" he asked with a warm but firm voice. The store worker explained. The girls nodded quickly to support their story. But Mr. Adrian focused his eyes on Amara. "Did you try to take anything?" he asked. "No, sir. I would never do that," she replied. He nodded. "I believe you." The friends blinked, confused that someone important would defend her. Mr. Adrian turned to the worker. "May we please check the cameras?" The worker agreed and left for a moment. The store became strangely quiet. Amara's friends began to shift uncomfortably, whispering that they should leave, but it was too late. The worker returned and said, "She didn't do anything wrong. The cameras show she only touched the biscuits." Everyone stared at the girls, and their heads dropped. They could not speak. Mr. Adrian gave Amara a gentle smile. "You handled this very well. Some people would shout or cause trouble, but you stayed calm. That shows strong character." Amara felt her eyes grow warm, but she blinked the tears back. No stranger had ever spoken to her with such kindness. Mr. Adrian said, "Come with me. I would like to buy something for you." Amara shook her head. "Please, sir, I don't want any trouble. I'm fine." He smiled softly. "It's not trouble. It's kindness." He picked a basket and slowly filled it with biscuits, bread, fruits, and even a small gift. "Take these home," he said, "for you and your mother." At the counter, he paid for everything without rush. As they walked outside the store, the air felt calmer. He stopped and handed her a small card with his name on it. "If you ever need help with school, or if you want a job when you finish, come to my company. Honest people like you are rare. I respect that." Amara held the card carefully, as if it were made of gold. She felt something new inside her. Hope. Her friends watched from inside the store, ashamed and silent. Amara walked home with bags full of food, a heart full of gratitude, and a future that suddenly looked brighter than the sun. She did not know what would come next, but she knew one thing. Life changes in moments, and sometimes the most beautiful moment arrives when everything seems unfair. And this moment, this unexpected meeting with a kind billionaire, was the start of a new story that had only just begun. As Amara walked home carrying the bags of food, she kept looking at the small card in her hand. It felt unreal, like something from a dream. She read the name again and again, Adrian Cole. She had heard that name before. People in town always talk about a young businessman who built schools, fixed roads, and helped families. She never imagined she would meet him, and she definitely never imagined he would speak to her kindly. When she reached home, her mother stepped outside. "Amara, what is all this?" she asked with wide eyes. Amara smiled. "Someone help me, Mama." They went inside, and she explained the whole story. Her mother touched her cheek gently and said, "You see, being honest will always guide you to blessings." That night, Amara slept with a calm heart. She kept the card under her pillow, not because of the name, but because it reminded her that there were still good people in the world. The next morning, something unexpected happened. As she walked to school, a black car slowed beside her. The window rolled down, and she gasped when she saw who was inside. Mr. Adrian. He smiled warmly. "Good morning, Amara. Heading to school?" "Yes, sir," she said shyly. "Would you like a ride? It's a long walk." She hesitated. She didn't want people to talk, but his smile was gentle and reassuring. "It's completely okay if you prefer to walk," he added kindly. Amara nodded slowly. "I can come with you, sir." The door opened automatically, and she stepped in. The car smelled of fresh leather and soft perfume. She had never sat in something so clean and beautiful. As they drove, Adrian asked, "How is school for you?" "It's fine," she said. "I try my best." "I can tell," he replied. "You have a calm strength. People like that go far." His words felt like sunlight in her heart. When they reached school, he stopped far from the gate, so no one would see. "I didn't want to make things difficult for you," he said. "Thank you," she replied. Before she stepped out, he added, "If anyone troubles you again, let me know. You deserve peace." Amara walked into school with her head held a little higher, not because of the ride, but because someone believed in her. But her old friends noticed her new confidence. Instead of feeling sorry for what they did, they felt something else, surprise mixed with confusion. They expected Amara to be sad after yesterday. They did not expect her to smile. During break time, one of the girls approached her. "Amara, about yesterday," she began. Amara looked at her calmly. "It's all right," she said softly. "I am not angry." The girl wasn't expecting forgiveness. She stood there silently, her face warm with embarrassment. Later that day, Amara found something in her bag, a small envelope. She opened it and saw a note. "Keep shining. AC." She looked around the classroom, wondering how Mr. Adrian had sent it. She didn't see anyone who looked like a messenger, but the note made her smile. That evening, when school ended, the same black car waited for her on the quiet street near the gate. The window rolled down again. "Would you like to go home now?" Mr. Adrian asked. Amara nodded. Try not to smile too widely. "Yes, sir." As they drove, he said, "I didn't want yesterday to be the end of our meeting. I want to make sure you get every chance you deserve." She looked at him with surprise. "Why me?" He answered softly, "Because I saw your heart, and hearts like yours are rare." Amara didn't know what her future would become, but she felt, for the first time in her life, that something good was opening for her, like a door she never knew existed. And Mr. Adrian seemed to be standing on the other side of that door, waiting to guide her into a brighter world. The next few days moved softly, like warm wind passing through open windows. Amara, now clearly a young adult, walked through life with a quiet confidence she didn't have before. She still lived simply, still helped her mother, still studied hard, but something inside her had changed. She now believed that good things were possible for her too. One afternoon, as she stepped out of school, she saw Mr. Adrian's car parked under a large tree. He stood outside the car this time, leaning gently against it. He looked relaxed, dressed in a simple shirt and dark trousers. When he saw her, he smiled in a warm, respectful way. "Amara," he called softly, "how was your day?" She smiled back. "It was good, sir." "You can call me Adrian," he said with a small laugh. "You make me feel old when you say sir." Amara laughed shyly. "Okay, Adrian." It felt strange to say his name, but also comfortable. He opened the car door for her. "Your mother knows I bring you home. I spoke with her yesterday. just to make sure she felt comfortable. Amara's eyes widened. "You met my mother?" "Yes," he said gently. "She is a wonderful woman. She cares deeply for you. I made sure she knew my intentions are respectful and kind." Amara felt her heart warm. Adrian didn't just help her. He respected her life and her family. As the car began to move, he said, "There's a small park nearby. Would you like to stop there for a few minutes? Only if you're comfortable." She nodded. "I'm comfortable." They stopped at a quiet public park where children played in the distance and adults sat on benches talking. Nothing strange, nothing private, just a peaceful environment. They sat on a bench beneath a shade tree. Adrian turned to her. "I want to know more about you, Amara, not because of what happened in the store, but because you have a strength I don't see often." Amara looked at her hands. "I just try to do what is right." "Exactly," he said, "and that's rare." He told her about his work, how he started from nothing, how he learned business by watching his parents struggle. Though he was a billionaire now, he still remembered what it felt like to have little. "That's why your honesty touched me," he said softly. "It reminded me of who I used to be." Amara felt calm beside him. There was no pressure, no uncomfortable feelings. He treated her like an equal, someone whose presence mattered. After a while, Adrian looked at her with gentle curiosity. "Amara, what do you want for your future?" She thought carefully. "I want to finish school. I want a stable job. I want to help my mother live better. And," she paused shyly, "I want to be someone who makes others proud." Adrian nodded slowly. "You already do. And I want to help you reach those dreams, not because I pity you, but because you deserve opportunities." She met his eyes, and for the first time, she saw something soft in them. Not romance yet, but growing admiration, a gentle respect that could one day become something deeper. They stayed a little longer, talking with ease. As the sun began to lower, Adrian stood. "Let me take you home." During the ride, Amara felt something peaceful settling in her heart. She wasn't rushing anything. She wasn't imagining big things. She simply enjoyed being around someone who treated her with kindness, maturity, and dignity. When they reached her house, Adrian walked her to the door. Before leaving, he said, "Amara, if you allow it, I would like to spend more time with you. Slowly, respectfully, only if you want the same." Amara felt her cheeks warm. "Yes, I would like that." Adrian smiled, not in a rush way, but in a calm, steady way, like someone ready to build something real, step by step. As he drove away, Amara stood at her door with a soft smile, thinking of how life could change in the gentlest, most unexpected ways. And somewhere in her heart, a small, warm feeling began to grow.